it's obvious that we're getting closer and closer to the end of the year, because the numbers of showing up for webinars are starting to dwindle down. So first of all, congratulations to you guys for actually still being interested enough in your careers to step up to the plate and get some education on your table. You know, we see it every year where a lot of real estate professionals start to fall off towards the end of it. Like Thanksgiving happens, and you know how sleepy you get after eating the turkey. These guys are sleepy for like 6 weeks, right? And so we want to be able to take advantage of that. And I say it and I say it and I say it, and I've said it all year long. December is historically my best month. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, because no one else is here, right? No one wants to work. The phone rings and people are looking at it. They're like, oh man, I don't really want to do that right now. What they don't realize is the work that you're doing in November and December are going to pay you in January, February, March, right? So when it comes time to pay your taxes, you're going to be like, damn, maybe I should have worked in November, December, right? Right? When it comes time to you know, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, pay your light bill, pay your car, you know, take a vacation, do those kinds of things. And so what you'll know about me is that I often bust my butt through the fourth quarter, and then oftentimes in January, February, I'll take a vacation. And so I'm not saying don't take vacations. I'm just saying plan your vacations around your consumer, right? So I live in South Florida. And in South Florida, we got a lot of people here on vacation for the holiday. And while they're here, they're like, wow, I'd really like to live here. Maybe we should go look at some properties, right? And I'm like, yo, I'm not on vacation. I'm happy to help you out. My team's here, ready to rock and roll. What do you need, right? And so we take advantage of that opportunity. And my agents see it. I've got an agent closing between today and tomorrow. She'll be closing 3 properties. Should equate to around 2.6 in total. Like, you know, kudos to her for busting her butt through Q4, right? And so how do you think her holiday season is going to be, right? And then we're picking up a new listing. You know, so this is what I often hear from real estate agents. They go, oh, but people don't want to list through the holidays. And I'm like, well, change their minds, right? So like, oh no, I'm going to have family here. I really don't want to list through the holidays. Okay, let me explain this to you. When you have your home decorated for the holiday, and I bring a buyer to your house with your home decorated, first of all, I'm going to buy you the gingerbread cookie candles from Yankee Candle, right? And so you're going to light those babies up like 15 minutes before I show up. What do you think people walk into when they're in that situation? They're not walking into drywall, furniture, and cleanliness and smell of bleach and Clorox. They're walking into nostalgia, childhood, Christmas trees, presents, gingerbread cookies, you know, acorns, like whatever else you're putting around, pine tree, that pine smell. They're walking into complete nostalgia. So when they walk into the house, it's about a feeling, right? And the feeling that they get in return is, oh, I could see us here next holiday, right? Especially if they're on vacation there, right? And then so in South Florida, we get a lot of New Yorkers. New Yorkers come down, they go, yeah, but you don't have the snow. And I go, yeah, but we can open gifts and go to the beach. You know, you're going to open gifts and drink hot chocolate, stay home the whole day trying to stay warm, right? So, you know, it's a lifestyle. And so people, you know, you start making jokes about it, connect with people. And so we're picking up a $2.6 million listing in Fort Lauderdale because of that. No, I don't. Let's wait till January. I don't want to bother my holiday. Dude, let me explain to you what's going to happen here. And I broke it down for him. And I offered him 2 videos. We're going to do one video now because he's not decorated for the holiday yet. We're going to do one lifestyle video. We're hiring 2 models. We're going to do a lifestyle video around this property because he's very close to Fort Lauderdale Beach. And then we're going to turn around and we're going to take, when he does decorate, we're going to go back and we're going to do some additional video showing holidays and Christmas trees and gifts. And then I'm going to bring 2 models back and they're going to dress up in, like, you know, those Christmas pajamas, right? And they're going to hand each other gifts and they're going to laugh and they're going to give each other hugs, be like a husband-wife situation, right? And so we're going to set all of that up. So we're going to create the nostalgia by creating ads during the holiday like that. And then we'll have pictures for both holiday and off holiday, right? So I'm going to put pictures on the MLS that are going to have Christmas trees and nostalgia, right? And then like, I want you to look at the pictures and almost smell the gingerbread, right? And then when we're done with that, come January 1st, I'm going to kill all the holiday photos, right? Because the last thing after the holidays is over, people are over it. They really are. Like everybody can't wait for the holidays. But then when January 2nd, like nobody wants to hear anything about Christmas. It's like go time, right? And so take the pictures off. The ones with the Christmas trees and all that stuff, take it off, you know? And you don't have to do my exact plan, but you should leave the pictures on there with the Christmas stuff and the holiday stuff or whatever it is. And then when your clients take all that stuff down, if you have not gone under contract yet, go back and take a few more shots. Ask your photographer to go back out, take a couple shots of the living room, stuff like that, outside without lights, etc., so that you can replace photos on your marketing campaigns, right? And so now you're not in January, February, March. Can you let them in? January, February, March, promoting the holidays, right? And so this is going to be a great opportunity. And somebody, Courtney, use a puppy. Absolutely, dude. I got the perfect puppy for it. He's sleeping right here at my feet. So, and this opportunity that we have, like we sell this one thing, real estate, right? And we have to sell an emotional connection to real estate. Like, how many of you have heard a client walk into a house and go, I don't know, I don't feel it, right? It's the perfect house for them, right? It has everything they exactly asked for. It has the bedroom count, it has the pool, it has the backyard, it has the lot space, it has the garage, it has everything they asked for, but they don't feel it. They're not connected to it. Something's off, right? Change that feeling. You bring them in during the holiday, they're like, oh, this is great. Like, this is beautiful, this is amazing. Right. And like I said, go to Yankee Candle, buy a couple candles, you know, get the pine tree smelling ones or the gingerbread cookie ones. I like the cookie ones because they make people, this is delicious. Right. And then you just strategically put them around the house and enjoy that moment. Right. I used to have a lady that used to do open houses throughout December. And when she did the open houses, she did them every Wednesday because here was Brokers Opens on Wednesdays. And she would do the Brokers Opens open houses, and she would go to the supermarket, she would buy gingerbread cookies. And then she would buy gingerbread cookie mix, and she would create the mix, and she would put it inside of a baking pan, and she would put it in the oven at the lowest possible temperature, like 200. It would never cook. But you know what the whole house smelled like? Fresh baked cookies. Right? So she had these store-bought cookies on a nice platter. Of course, she took them out the plastic, right? Because then that kind of gives it away. And then in the oven, she had this batter going on. And then, so I asked her about that. And she said to me, what I'm telling you now, create the nostalgia, people will feel it. Right. And what we're doing and this, you know, what we're doing in creating our brands, creating our businesses, creating every time you post on social media, every time you do something, what are you trying to do? You're creating a feeling between a connection between you and that consumer. And if that consumer can connect with you, then you're feeling it at a bigger level. Right now, one of the fears that a lot of people are facing right now with 2024 is how they're going to make money. Right. And so with 2024, number one fear, how am I going to make money? Real estate is slowing down. Things are going kind of weird. Things are a little crazy right now. What am I supposed to do with the income and with the stuff? Let me see if I can get this better view for you. Here we go. You know what? Better. Y'all gonna see me like this. All right. So we got these crazy thought processes, and often the thought processes are created by people going out and creating news for themselves. And so what do I mean by that? I mean, we're on social media and you can't help but pass by somebody saying how horrible the market's going to be, you know, how you're not going to be able to sell anything in the world, how nothing's going to work out for you, how everything's going to be off, everything's going to be tripping out. And so what I often like to tell people is you have to consistently work on being the conduit to everything real estate in that house. And so what I say is, if this is the house that you sold, right? If this is the house that you sold, okay, what you're trying to do is you're trying to put yourself in a position to never let go of this house. So everything that happens in that house, you want to be somehow connected to it. And so what do I mean by this? Well, if they need a plumber, should they go through Yellow Pages, or should they look for look for you, because you might have a good contact? You sold the house, you know the plumber, you know the electrician, you know the yard guys, you know roof people, you know the cable company, you know the light companies, you know all this stuff. And by the way, in Florida in general, because we have one company for the entire state for light, which is not the same in every state, by the way, right? We instantly assume there's people waiting. We instantly assume that those folks, right, automatically know, because we know. So they have to know. There's only one company. But a lot of people move here from another state, so they don't know. So what would it hurt to just give them information, even if they already knew, right? You have to be the conduit to everything. The only way that you could be the conduit to everything is by letting your client know that you are the person to be connected to. And by the way, you could have a list for this. I know people that have created apps for this, right? Like there's all kinds of stuff that you need to be connected to for them, right? And so believe it or not, I know somebody that operates an app, and I'm going to bring them out so you can see that too, right? So if my client needs anything and anything at all, I want to be the conduit to everything, right? If my client's roof is leaking, I want to be able to say, hey, by the way, I know an estimator, I know a roofing person. If their pool's leaking, I want to say, oh my God, I got the best pool leak guy, right? Like, you know, we're going to do this Italian, so I got a guy, right? You know, you want to be that person. I got a guy person. You got to make sure that you're a conduit for everything. So what we've done, the reason that I say this is because there is nothing wrong with actually creating that into dollars. Is oftentimes we fall into the trap that we feel like we need to do everything for free, and we're only supposed to make money selling houses. And that's not true. Selling houses is your main position. It's what you do. But the ancillary incomes that you can create will give you additional dollars to the table. So a couple weeks ago, we brought solar in. And basically he said, for free, you could register for the solar program. And should one of your clients want to get into it, you just register them, name, email address, and phone number. We'll take care of the rest. And you will make 50% of the commission. Insanity, by the way, right? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be a solar salesperson. You just have to pass a name on. Hey, I got a great solar guy, right? Like I can use Courtney. I say, Courtney moves in, and I say, hey, by the way, if you're thinking about putting solar, I've got a guy. Right? And by the way, here's a list of services that I have connections to. Here's a paper. Here's a list of services I have connections to that I think would be extremely beneficial to you. If you need any of those services, call me. So one of the things that I see a lot of people do is they give people a list of names and phone numbers, right? But then they won't need to call you anymore. Does that make sense? So you put your name, your phone number on the top, and then you put all the services that you have capability for, so that they can look at it and go, oh, okay, let me call. Hey, Dave, who do you have for solar? Oh, I got a guy. Let me connect to you. They should call you within the next 24 hours. All I'm going to do is go to the computer, plug in their name, email address, phone number. The team's going to take over. That's it. I'm done. And one day I might receive a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 check. For what? Dropping a name in? I just gave myself a 20% raise on my commission. Right? Then you have, last week we brought in legal, right? And so why did I bring in legal? Why? Because people buy a house, and then how many of you have dealt with a client that is now in probate, no will, no trust, nothing in place? It's a disaster. It takes a year to go through the courts, right? So what if you said to this person, hey, by the way, there's this great service that you can pay a very small monthly fee for, and you can create your will, create your trust, create the important things up front. And by the way, if you get a speeding ticket, they'll fight that too. right? And you just offer that service. By the way, every time they sign up, you can make some money doing that, right? How much does that cost you? Not much at all, right? But these are all ancillary incomes that we have to become accustomed to in an ever-changing market. Because if you're used to selling 10 houses and next year you sell 5, where are you going to make up the rest of the money? In a part-time job? Why? Take those 5 houses and create ancillary income through them. Okay, so today we're bringing in Brenda. Brenda's going to come talk to us. I don't know why I'm writing your name, but I feel like a teacher right now. We're going to bring in Brenda, and Brenda's going to come talk to us about Utility Connect. Okay, so I used to use Utility Connect years ago, and then the person that I was connected with, we had a little bit of a fallout. And so now I met these guys out in Dallas when I was speaking in Dallas at the Mindset Summit. Fell in love with them. They got me a little inebriated, I'm not gonna lie. And then that happened. Truth. I like to be real with you guys. And it was a great time, but more than that, I understood that these guys, Jenna says, do you have to disclose that you receive a small commission for referrals? I think that depends on your state rules and regulations. I always tell people I am involved in the business. Like, it is what it is, so that they understand, and by the way, I like to do that just out of morality, right? Like people sometimes ask me about marketing, digital marketing, and I go, hey, listen, I'm involved in a digital marketing business. I can refer you and you can go through that, right? Like, so, and that's a moral thing. I don't have to tell you that as a coach or as a realtor or anything else, right? But just for me, for morality, I like to say that to people, right? Here's what you'll find when you do that. People don't care if you make money as long as they're well taken care of. They just don't, and I think oftentimes most people are afraid that they think that if the person finds out they're going to make a few bucks on this, that they're going to be like, oh, you're just giving me this name because you're going to make money on it. No, if you treated them well throughout the process of the purchase of their home, and you're telling them I'm involved in this other stuff, come on, dude, right? Next week, we have a line coming on. He's going to talk about life insurance. You think that might be important if you bought a house and you get a family? So those are some of the things that we want to talk about where you can, not only are you earning a little extra income, but more importantly, you're helping your client. You're helping your consumer. They become a client for life because through the process, until they go to sell that house again, through the process, you've been helping them and connecting them with people who have benefited their lives. Okay, so I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to actually highlight you. Brenda, thank you. You're muted, by the way, so just unmute yourself real quick. Thank you for being a wonderful part of our weekly webinar. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everyone. All right.
Absolutely. So I'm going to pass the buck to you. I'm going to mute myself, all right?
Well, I want to start off with some clarification first. I was not part of the inebriating, party, so don't get me involved with that. That was all Russell.
You're right. You're right. That was all Russell. 100% Russell.
But I can guarantee we always keep it a good time at all times. So, but yeah, thank you so much for having us, and I really love this topic that we're having right now because it's so lucrative right now to focus on, what services, like you said, ancillary services, we get them into the door, but what happens, during their home life. And Utility Connect, we're honestly a unicorn in our field. There are other competitors. You may have a direct contact for certain home services. We group it all for you, and we make lives, we make this easier for your client's life, but we also make this easier for our agents, our brokerages as well, to offer our value added service. It's not just about connecting, the buyers with all their home services and, providing their all the utilities information. We educate the clients. We want to make sure that, hey, they're choosing the right services, the right products that fits them. It's not just, hey, we work with one company, go with them. We give them a list of all the options available to them. And David, you touch on a lot of points that we, on a daily basis, our team goes over with the buyers. Florida, yeah, you have one electric company or one company that you guys go through, right? Here in Texas, we're deregulated. So if you move here and you're moving from Florida to Texas, or we get a lot of Californians coming to Texas, and you tell them, oh, you can choose anybody you want. And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean I can choose? So we help guide them through that. And we get a lot that move to Houston. Houston has over 1,000 water companies. So to kind of search and filter, I mean, I could be with ABC, but then my neighbor could be with another company. So just things like that that we help facilitate and educate the buyers on. And they really appreciate it because it's just one call. It's someone in-house. You're not going through an online journey. As we continue to improve on technology, everything is through emails online. You don't have to chat with someone real, but when you're a new homeowner or you're an out of state mover, you kind of need someone to kind of talk to and answer these questions. And that's where we step in. So we connect all of the, essential home services for the clients, their internet, TV, cable. So you're not having to find, different vendors and different providers yourself as an agent to provide, or rely on the sellers to provide you the information. And we all know sometimes, you get it a little bit too late. And so we definitely time it at the right time to make sure that we provide all of the resources, connect everything for them at the right time before they move into their home. And so, how does that play into being able to earn revenue from this? So, we are a completely free service. We take pride in providing absolute great customer service. That's our number one priority. And I'm going to go ahead and plug in a little bit of our reviews. So, we stand at a 5-star review platform, over 3,700 5-star reviews.
Hey, your sound got messed.
Okay, let me switch over real quick. Can you hear me now?
No, still, it's got like a robotic sound.
Second.
There you go, better.
Okay.
It was almost
Can
like
you
a
hear me
Star
now?
Wars thing going on there. Yeah, you're good now.
David?
Yep, there you go.
No?
Much better. Yeah, we hear you.
David, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right. So where did I leave off of? On the commission, on the revenue? Okay, perfect.
You were doing the plug.
Got it. Okay. So any services that we set up for the clients, we definitely want to be able to pass that revenue back to our agents. And so, as a free platform, completely free for the clients, completely free for our agents and brokers to work with, we pass around revenue back to our agents and the brokers. So that's a win-win for the agents and your broker to earn additional revenue. And it's off of the initial package setup. So it's not like off their monthly bill or anything, but anything that we can connect for them, that is where the revenue comes back to you. And it's a one-time fee, but as they continue on in their home, they're going to need to upgrade. They're going to need to change their plans. And so we follow up with them and get those services renewed as well. And then in return, you get that revenue off of that as well. And so we see a lot of agents that have used us for a couple of years who've had repeat clients or referral because we white labeled this service as part of your brokerage and your brand. So we want them, like David was talking about, we want them to call you back, right? So we want them to make sure that they keep you in mind. So anything that they need in the future, even after they move into the home, we want them to think of you as the agent. So we white labeled this service as a service that's coming straight from you. It's your own concierge. They're able to answer all these questions. And then as we're, talking about roofing care or lawn care, we have a program that we'll be launching hopefully in the middle or the end of 2024 to allow you to either upload your own local vendors. So Utility Connect, we work with national vendors. We're a national program. We're on all 50 states. So we work with all 30 national providers out there. But what about, the cleaners or the lawn care, the pool guys? Those are going to be more local vendors that we want. And so we are creating a program to where if you have a trusted vendor and you want to put them in the vendor hub for another agent in the area that's looking for the pool guy, or maybe if you're looking for a trusted pool guy, you're able to go into our system and see, okay, who is around us, and then see their credentials, their reviews, or ratings, and then also refer them to your clients as well. So as we continue, we've been around for 12 years, we have pretty much dialed in on the customer service experience and making sure that we get them well taken care of, we get them all the options. But for the agents, we're making sure that our program is agent centric, keeping your brand out there, making sure that you earn their additional revenue. And then your broker as well can earn that revenue by white labeling it and just providing all the resources that we want after the home. And then I know there was a question about, okay, well, do we need to disclose this with our, our clients that we're making commission revenue? We're not a required service for any home to close. A lot of times, when we're speaking to the clients, they just need to know who their water provider is, or here in Texas, it's deregulated, so we can connect them with their electricity. We just, set their power up and then that's it. So you don't have to disclose that information if you don't want to, because sometimes we don't even set anything up. We're just providing education and information for them. And then later on down the road, 2-3 years later on, when they need, to be renewed on their internet or their cable or their home security, whatever it is, they can give us a call back and then you earn that commission revenue at that time too. So, these ancillary items are, it's kind of what you want to focus on now, because we are so focused on getting them moved in ready. But like David said, what about after? We don't want them to forget us. We don't want to forget them. And so it's a great way to have this tool as a way to kind of keep in touch with them. And we help out by making sure that every form of contact that we send them, when we send them a list of all the services that we connect, it has their, the provider on there, their service, the date that we're turning it on, their account number. At the very bottom, it has your picture, your name, your information. And when they call us back or when we reach out to them to renew, again, there's your name, your brand in front of them. So we really focus on making sure that they are reminded of their agent even post-close. So Utility Connect, again, we're nationwide, and I think our reviews speak volume of our customer service experience. We do more than just connecting as well. Sometimes closings fall through. Sometimes it gets moved up or delayed. What about those issues? We're very well aware we've got direct contact with every single vendor out there. We have a rep, so we're able to make those changes. We always tell the clients, hey, if there's any changes to your closing, let us know. So then they're not having to spend the time and the energy of calling each provider and canceling services or moving it up. We do it all for them as well. So we're really there. We know how stressful it is in that home buying process, whether buying it or renting. And sometimes it's a deal breaker, right? If someone's working from home and you're dealing with a property in a rural area and they're working from home, they're going to want to know, like, hey, do I have serviceability out there? Who is it? And if so, is it going to give me strong connections? So we have a lot of agents that will reach out to us prior sale and say, hey, I've got, Martha, she's moving up into the mountains in Vermont. Is there any serviceability? And if there's not, we can act on it to see if we can actually get, we can look around the areas, reach out to our reps and see if we can actually get serviceability for that address. So we play a lot of roles. Our main focus is getting them move-in ready, but we take care of the clients before and then also make you shine after the closing as well. I don't know if there was any questions on that, but that's a little bit.
Let me ask you this. So our agents get involved with Utility Connect, and when do they tell their clients that they're involved with Utility Connect to be able to help them out once they close on their property? Should clients be going into the system prior to the closing?
That's a great question. So we have an automation, so we could either automate it for you. So all you have to do is, maybe during the buyer presentation, you tell them, hey, I'm going to really take care of you from beginning to end. Towards the end, I've got a concierge service. They're going to be reaching out to you 2 weeks before your closing date. So we have it to where, it's pretty flexible, whether we're automated and we automatically get your client data, or you can submit your information yourself into your white labeled website. And David, if you don't mind, I can show that real quick.
Sure.
So this is what it looks like. So it's branded with your, your broker. It has your picture on there. And so if you scroll down, this is where either you or your clients can submit their information over to us. 2 weeks is our sweet spot to get the client data, but we recommend telling them a little bit earlier than that, again, during the buyer presentation. If we're automated, we actually send our agents a reminder email first, so then it gives you a courtesy to remind them, hey, look out for their call. But at 2 weeks is when, we'll start contacting them, and that gives us enough time to schedule their installation date, answer any questions, and it gives them time to get back to us as well. And again, if there's any changes to their closing, we have time to make those changes for them too.
So what you're providing is a concierge service for the new homeowner, basically getting their cable
Absolutely.
hooked up, getting their internet hooked up, getting their lights turned on, their water flowing, you know, all the things that a lot of people worry about, actually, because here's the crazy part. Most buyers don't even think about that, right? And
True.
so what I'm seeing here is that you are giving a platform not to the company Utility Connect, but to the agent themselves.
Yes.
And so, you know, one of the biggest wins here I see more than anything else, believe it or not, is the consistent follow-up with that buyer to make them feel like their agent is still thinking about them all the time.
Absolutely. Yes. And I can show you an example of that as well. So this is the email. This is a welcome email. This is something that we, as an example, that we worked with for NARS. But this is where, you know, your picture, your brand, your information is here. So like you said, as we're continuing to follow up with them, we want to be like, hey, David, this is coming from David. Even though he helped you in your home, you know, a few months ago, a few years ago, we're still here, and it's a reflection of you and your brand. So this is what it would look like if you've got any social media platform. We have it there on there as well. And so they can click on it. It goes to your Facebook, your YouTube, your Instagram. So it's a really great way to make sure that we remind them of you, right? Even post-closing.
Right. All right. So is there a cost to the agent to be involved in this?
Absolutely not. It's a free service. Like you said, we're a concierge, so this is completely complimentary. And that's
so you guys, so you and the agents are making your money on actually connecting services, because the service providers, like let's use Comcast, for instance, they're going to pay you guys a commission for, you know, referring this business or whatever, creating this business. You're like a salesperson for them. You're going to earn a commission, and that agent is going to be able to be a beneficiary of that.
Yep, you got it. That's exactly how it works. So we get paid by their providers, and that's how we pass along the commission back to the agents, to the brokers as well. And we figure all of that. That's nothing that, you know, you have to sit there. Let me go back to this. You actually get your own dashboard. So with that website I was showing you earlier with your name and your picture, you have a dashboard, full transparency of all the clients we've spoken to, what services they've got, if they decline the service. But then that's where you actually go in. You've got commission revenue. You can keep track of it. And when it's ready to be redeemed, you can redeem it and go straight to you, direct deposited. And like I said, because we're not a required service for any home to close, you don't have to, it falls under the RESPA rule. So it's up to you if you want to disclose information or not, but not necessary.
That's pretty amazing. All right. Does anyone have any questions? I would love to be able to field some questions since we have a little bit of time left. I guess one of the biggest questions, Brenda, is going to be how do people sign up for this?
Yeah, I'm going to put my contact information down below.
Okay.
Guy, I see that you are with LPT. So we definitely have different partnerships for different brokerages. We want to make sure that your branding is on your page. So I'm just going to plug in my information and just reach out to me. We'll schedule a quick call. I'll get to know you. I'll get to know what brokerage you're with, and we'll get you signed up so then you can start using the services as well. So let me go ahead and put my information into the chat.
So this is when the agents come on, they say, hey, Brenda, I want to be involved in this. Do you, like, almost like the same way you concierge everyone else, do you onboard them in that same similar sense?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yep. We want to caterize and we want to customize it to, you know, what they're looking for, their branding as well. So yes. Awesome,
man. It's a great opportunity for the agents. All right, guys. So you have Brenda's information there in the chat. Take a screenshot of it, take a picture with your phone, do what you need to do. But I'm doing it right now, even though I have your numbers. I want to make sure. All right. So take a screenshot of it, take a picture, do what you got to do, but get in touch with Brenda. Sign up for free. Make some extra money. Like, this is an opportunity. This is where I am ultimately, have ultimately been vested for the last 3 weeks. And I'm going to be vested for the next couple weeks and probably through the end of the year, because I keep thinking of ways that we can still pick up and create. And I think it's great news that Utility Connect is going to allow you to add your ancillaries in there, which means that you know, the pool guy that you know that does a great job for everybody, that really comes through, you could recommend them. And there'll be a little network too, because as they get reviews, they'll get more business. You're actually helping them out by doing this. And so great opportunity, great business development opportunity as well, right? So I'm definitely excited about this for you guys. I am 100% vested, like I said, for the last 3 weeks and for the next 3 weeks probably, in helping you find ways to fill the gap, because I do not want you to leave this business. And I do not want you to look and say, I'm not closing enough business and I've got mouths to feed and I got to get out. I want you to find ways to make extra money on the deals that you will do, because I do not want to see anyone dropping out of this business. And here's the crazy part. If you could perfect it now, when the business does pick up again and you're doing 10, 20, 30, 40 deals, well, imagine what that turns into if you've already got these ancillaries and these systems in place. And you've educated you and your team and your assistant on how to get these ancillaries in place for everybody, right? So guys, please, take the opportunity, do it for free. It's nothing. I mean, and just like a disclaimer, because I know Jen said it earlier, disclaimer, I'm not involved in any of these companies, believe it or not. Brenda could vouch for that right now. So if you're signing up, it's not like I'm going to make some extra cheese. No, this is for you. Like this is nothing to do with me. I want you guys are going Brenda direct. I want nothing to do with it. There's no downline for me or anything like that. This is about helping you guys step up to the plate and feed your families. And that excites me. And that makes me happy. And it lets me know that next year you'll still be here doing trainings with me and getting educated and hiring me as a coach and joining my academy, because you're just flowing in the dough and you're making it happen. And I'm excited about that. Brenda, thank you so much for taking the time to spend some time with us today and educate us on Utility Connect.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. All right, guys. See you later.